Welcome back, everybody. We are ready once again now with a semi-finals match because that's just how we roll here at the Alienware Awesome Cup 2. What do we got for them, Oz?
Well, we have the Ion v Akio. Now we have a European team versus a Japanese team.
Oh,
on Algion. That being said, let's go straight into the picks for this map. So it seems that Ion is going to run with the Frog, Swiggins, and Coco, and Akio is going to go with Skoldir, Scoop, and Ted. Ted is absolutely terrifying on any map. Combine that with a Scoop, combine it with a Skoldir, and that is really something to be afraid of. Then again, for Ion, that's Swiggins, that Frog, and that Coco.
Yeah, I'm saying Swiggins Coco is gonna be devastating, and then Frog just is additional damage. I mean, that is, both these teams are damage powerhouses, just bombs waiting to explode. So I'm absolutely hyped to see what's gonna go down. So without further ado, I think we should get right to it.
Definitely, but the one thing that I do want to point out, this is the first time we're seeing Algion today.
Oh, the purple one. We love that.
We need to talk about that a little bit. So, things to look out for on Algion. Algion is the map with the invisibility orb in the middle. You have the 2 creep zones on both red and blue side, the bottom jungle and the top jungle, as well as the jumpers and the drop down in mid. It's definitely going to make for an interesting fight. Definitely want to look out for that mid battle for control of the orb. The orb respawns every minute, so keep an eye out for that. Definitely look out for those creep zones, though, because they can be absolutely devastating if you're caught out.
Right. I mean, I just want to see what happens. So, without further ado, I think we should go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So, as you said, Invis spawns every minute, and that means when you have the mid control, you have a decisive advantage over the enemy team. So,
exactly.
who do you think should get the Invis on either team?
On either team, honestly, at this point, anybody but Ted for Akio. Anybody on Ion could definitely pick it up and do a seriously sickening amount of damage. You see it right there. Coco is just hanging out with the Invis, and Akio knows it, so they're going to kind of hang back for a little bit. Zoo's just kind of testing the waters right here, seeing where she is, and they know that mid, the orb is going to waste in a few seconds, and the creeps haven't even begun to get out yet, so they don't even need to stay in that area.
Yeah, I mean, it runs out after 20 seconds, I believe, and when that time has passed, you're going to be visible again, attacking or not.
Exactly.
So
see the airstrike clears coming out from Ted, and the ball's coming out from Coco. So how do you think Ted v Coco, how do you think that's going to work in this map?
Well, Ted obviously has the advantage being on bottom lane. He can sab everyone and everything, but Coco is such a good brawler, and I think one of the only notes that I can actually out DPS Ted played right with Blaze and AA, so I think we're going to see some intense battle, and you know, who will get the last hit and so on and so forth.
Definitely. Ted can do a great amount of damage on the turrets if they let him, and it seems like Robbie, if I got that correct. Robbie?
Robbie.
Excuse me.
You don't know how long I spent trying to learn that.
It seems that he's going to pick up the orb, and Akio knows it again, and they're just going to kind of hang back for a little bit again, forcing Ion to kind of hang out in this midsection.
Well, I think they rather enjoy it there. It is a good place to hang out when you don't really Shitzy the Swiggins, because that's his name, believe it or not, that's Shitzy. And I think that what's going to happen here is with him keeping bottom lane, he's going to keep Ted's on his toe. And as long as he can avoid a throw from Skoldir, I think Swiggins actually has the advantage versus a Ted.
Definitely, you know, top class Swiggins, and it looks like the Ted's going to get caught out here. A lot of damage coming out from both teams, and Zoo is going to go down, forcing them back, and Ion picking up the first blood of the semis.
Oh. Good stuff, good stuff. So, we should be seeing forward movement right now, trying to get a bit of turret poke in. They know that it's not going to last for too long, because right in the beginning of the matches, the respawn timers are quite low. But that doesn't stop them from trying to go in. Unfortunately, it gets cleared out, and there's going to be no push.
Nice ball, just poking fouls back in, trying to get him back for that Swiggins.
Oh well. Alright, as for the builds, we're seeing a piggy into boots coming out of Mokno, as well as range from Ted. Apart from that, it's just base abilities. What do you think about Ted and range right from pickup?
Ted and range, I'm a Ted player. Ted plus range early game, it's absolutely destructive. You know, even if you get a few pokes on that turret, Ted's turret DPS is 37, but I believe it's every quarter of a second. So you're getting basically 100 damage on the turret.
Oh wow!
Every second.
That is quite, and that's early game, mind you.
And that's early game, mind you. Once you get into the later stages of the game, it goes up to 58 maxed with Starstorm. So you're getting around 200 damage per second on the turret.
All right, we're seeing another piggy bank here coming in to range on the scoop. So that's going to be more snare, more damage, and more range, more area to cover, and overall just more deadliness coming out of scoop. And for Scoldier, we're seeing a stun punch, a very, very good upgrade. It's the most frequent stun in the game, and definitely worth a pickup in almost any situation.
You see a nice little engagement going on right now between the Scoop and the Swiggins.
I think we're at the point here where we're gonna see a lot of footsie nods, just back and forth play, because my opinion here is that the latency between the two teams are gonna play in, and no one is really ready to engage right now. So I think we're gonna see in the later parts of the games, we're gonna see a lot more action. But for now, we're gonna see people just holding their position, getting the invis, and making sure that no one gives up map control.
Exactly. Holding that mid, getting that orb is definitely something that both teams need to consider at this point. And if Akio starts timing the invis orb when it's gotten, when it's used, I think they can take it back, and I think they can do some serious damage if the Scoldier gets it. The airstrike landing on Coco.
Scoldier, I think, is probably the best candidate for an invis on Akio, because he just provides that sick CC and just displacement all over. If they can get in there, they can lock him down and basically burst them just so easily.
There's going to be a nice little engagement going on, but Zoo getting the back off with the airstrike. And Invis is up, and it looks like it's going to be another Invis orb for Ion. That's the third Invis orb in a row that they've gotten.
Well, they definitely want it, and I think that they're doing the right thing by denying Scoldier it, because it's going to... If Scoldier gets it, I think that's going to be a kill. I'm going to say that right now. If Scoldier gets the invis and he lands that throw, that's going to be a kill.
And the airstrike hitting Coco from the bottom lane. And it looks like Fowls is in a little bit of trouble right here. But no, Zoo may be in trouble now. A nice little engagement going on bottom. The airstrike is going to pick up the Swiggins, but the Frog picks up the Scoldier.
Well, that's a 1-for-1, and I think everyone else is out. That was a pretty quick and pretty intense, just short battle. They saw the opportunity that, oh, we lost a member, but don't worry, we can avenge him, and so they did.
And here we go. We can see Ted going to town on that turret with a 3-droid push. Even a half a second with 3 droids, 2 bars already gone.
And although the droids on bottom lane were sneaky enough to get a little bit of poke in as well, so... Oh, the top turret has actually been pushed quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fourth Invisorb, excuse me, in favor of Ion.
Lovely. The guys are making me proud. Just all the invises. Alright, so...
Scoop's going to be teleporting back.
And we are seeing a lot of damage coming out of Ion right now, as well as Akio. Both teams focusing heavily on damage. Froggy getting the hammer pan, Swiggins getting the damage on the hook, and Coco building ball damage and blaze on ball, so just adding up to a whole ton of damage. As for Scoldier, we're seeing throw damage, and Scoop is getting cooldown, so increased DPS on that hammer.
It's definitely going to come into play later in the game when Scoop really gets going with all of his bindings. Man, Scoop is such a powerful character late game. He can deal such a sickening amount of damage and just get out unscathed with that health. And
he can tank even more. That's the thing.
Invis was stolen. Chun managed to steal Invis from Ion. So they've broken the streaks of Invis.
Oh, they did not. Oh no, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I think we're gonna see a turret go down for that maybe. They are nothing.
Nah, Akio knows how to play on the defensive until they need to push out for that invis again, which should be up in about 20 seconds or so.
Well, looking at the builds right now, you being the best Ted ever.
Not even close.
Well, we can pretend for today. What would you think his general build direction would be?
He's going in the right direction, you know. Every Ted should really max out
What direction?
that AA
The
first.
right direction.
The right direction. Actually, he's going in the left direction for the turrets in this game.
Oh, wow.
But he's building in the right direction. I definitely think that he should have maxed out his AA before he went into HP, because at this point in the game, there's still not enough DPS to one-tick him. And he's more or less sticking with his whole entire team, so it's going to be easy for him to deal out damage while kind of maintaining a decent amount of health. But he's definitely moving in the left direction for this game.
Oh yeah.
So taking a look at Coco here, Heavenly Fire and ball damage, you know. How do you feel about Heavenly Fire?
I like it. It's a, like so good upgrade. It adds so much damage, and when you build blaze damage as well, it's gonna stack up on that. It's just gonna be really, really strong. It's gonna do like almost 1,000 damage, I think. It's really just, you wouldn't believe it, and people underestimate it so much.
You know, and even if you don't hit the ball at that time, you have blaze damage regardless, so you're just being annoying. You're just being
great.
Coke.
Oh yeah, of
Just
course.
being a Coke.
It's also great for if you're like shooting after invis people, you'll know where they're at because they suddenly combust in electrical flames.
And it looks like Zoo stole that one from Ion again. It's going to be 2 in a row.
Oh,
but
Fouls.
the airstrike may be able to save Fouls, and Fouls does manage to get out, and Zoo counterattacking with Chun picking up the Swiggins. That is going to be an excellent counter engagement, and this may be a decent push coming up for Team Akio.
Oh man. Alright, we're seeing more damage coming out of Scoldier and Spoon from Swiggins, so they're going for that safe landing damage. Oh, Oshirobe looking to do something here, it seems. Nope. Nothing here. That's the big push
Scoldier
on top.
versus Frog. How does that normally match up, in your opinion, and what you've seen?
Froggy usually has the upper hand. Scoldier relies on, like, you get a good throw, you get some good stun punches, you body block people, make sure they can't get out. And, well, Froggy is super hard to body block, and Froggy can easily dash out if he can juke you for long enough. So having the Frog versus Scoldier is pretty much a Frog favored matchup, I would say.
And it looks like that Invis is going to do some serious damage, and Robbie may be in a bad situation right now, but Zoo decides not to chase, and they're going to go after the Swiggins instead. Some throw damage coming out, the Earthquake hitting, and it looks like Fouls is going to pick up the Swiggins and try and hunt down the Coco, and does manage to get the Coco, and Robbie, in turn, picking up Zoo.
That's a 2 for 1.
That's a 2 for 1. Yes, it is.
I think we're gonna see it. I think we're gonna see a turret, maybe. I think
That was a great play on Robbie to still manage to get a kill out of that.
Well, no, they're not. If they're going for top, they might get a turret.
I'm not entirely sure they have the amount of DPS that they're going to need to
Oh
take
yeah, right.
out
Ted
before
is
they
not
get
actually on the map.
Yeah, Ted has been down. But looking at kills right now, it's 4-3 in favor of Akio. Pretty even, in my opinion.
We're around 12 minutes in, and yeah, that's. I don't know. We're seeing Chuck's board now. As I said, more damage. It might be a bit late, and I don't know why we are seeing ball damage before blaze damage. I think that after the nerf on droids, where ball damage no longer applies, I think blaze damage is a better pick because it does damage to droids as well.
Well, now we see Spoonman coming out of the scoop. So it's going to be an increase in damage on hammers and everything as long as he's close to his team. And I don't think they know that, but the ball and the dash do manage to hit on Scoop, forcing him back.
Oh yeah. What do you think? Do you think Scoop is going to build HP later on, like get more the milk, more HP when you bind?
It may be very late in the game if it gets to that point, but I'm pretty sure he's going to start to build into bindings. That's the only other feasible thing that I can think of right now as opposed to HP. Because he is a tank, and he's got a lot of health as it is.
You know what? The top turret actually looks quite low. if they get a kill, I think they'll be able to take it, and might even tank it if they can keep them distracted for long enough.
That's about 2 bars. I would say the Coco, well, they could probably take it right now in this push, which
it's
they are
going
taking.
down.
And that is going to be the first turret down in favor of Team Ion.
Yay! Alright. Alright, moving into the match again. Frog still has not gotten anything but hammer pants. What do you think is going to happen with that?
Well, the hammer pants itself, great upgrade, but it kind of restricts where you're going to dash. You know, you're going to want to try and get that extra damage, but if you don't manage to land the splash dash, that's a hindrance upon your damage output.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm kind of wondering, because he's stacking up like almost 800 solar, and he's going back now, so we can get we're gonna, I'm guessing more dash damage. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Maxing out the dash. That's a lot of dash
damage right there.
That is 600 and something, 660 solar just converted to damage right there. We're gonna have to look out for the Frog and see if he can get a nice big dash in on either Skoldir or Ted. I think it's gonna be difficult to hit the scoop with a hammer. Like, just the Frog is gonna be cancelled out.
Yeah, no, the scoop really does counter the Frog when you think about it. He can hit the mid dash hammer, although it won't do any damage. Still that snare, still that CC.
Does he actually know he does not have the mutant ninja worms? I can English today. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I don't see the mutant worms on Froggy yet. I think those would go excellent with his dash and more damage. So I don't know. What do you think about that upgrade anyway? It's
what, ninja worms?
The burst on after you hit everything.
I think it's definitely better to have that than opposed to some regular attack upgrades, because Frog, you know, you're going for the burst.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's essentially all Frog is, and a nice engagement going on right now. The airstrike is going to hit Robbie, and the hammer to follow up is going to pick him up.
Ouch.
That is going to be another kill in favor of Akio. Akio needs to push his bottom turret, or they're going to try and clear it and get up top. That confused me a little bit. They could have that was.
And now they're in position to defend bottom.
I think they definitely should have stuck with that bottom push and did some damage on the bottom turret. Kind of forget about the top for a second.
That was honestly a confusing move, I must say. They were ready to go.
I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but
no, it was definitely just confusing. I mean,
I was confused by it. You know, in a situation like that,
it obviously seems like they're getting poking, but they were ready. That turret was waiting for them.
Exactly, and like I said before, in a situation like that, in a 2v3, they kind of have to get that. And it looks like a lot of damage is coming out on Chun. Chun is going to go down, and Skoldir is going to land the throw. Frog is in a very bad situation right now. But the dash save, he gets out, and Ion successfully protecting the Frog, getting him out of there, saying, nope, you are not taking him today.
Nope. As I briefly mentioned, he is a Frog. Why are you so afraid?
I don't know, it just gets really seedy. If a Frog dashes the wrong way, I keep forgetting it's only a 6-second cooldown. So if a Frog dashes the wrong way, you know, that's potentially a death.
Well, he does have boots, so jumping around people is going to be a breeze. Just look at that lovely jump. He's like trampolines attached to his feet.
Peaceful. Zoo's gonna go back. I'm really interested to see what Zoo is gonna build now. He's going into Stim Pack and the stun. Exactly what I expected to see. Now, the stun did get changed on Ted a patch ago, so instead of having the grenade just activate the stun and push them back, it stuns them completely. So a lot of Teds, what they like to do now is launch the airstrike behind their opponent, switch to the shotgun, activate the Stim Pack, and stun them right into the airstrike.
Oh. I think the thing he's thinking of here is probably to counter Frog, because Frog, as we know, is a hard counter to Ted, and that stun upgrade is pretty much the
And you saw it right there, that stun upgrade coming into play in a nice little exchange. It's gonna force Team Akio to push back. Turret count is still 4-3 in favor of Ion. It looks like they may be going for the bottom turret right now and an attempt to take it, but let's see what Akio can do as they drop down on them. Let's see if anything's going to come of this, and they get the nice throw up. It looks like one's going to go down, and let's see if he can pick up the Swiggins. Swiggins is going to go down. Another exchange, and now Scoop is going to have to run away from the Frog, but a great amount of turret damage coming out from Team Ion on Akio's bottom turret.
Alright, well, we're almost 20 minutes in now at the 18-minute mark, and we're seeing pretty even kills. I mean, 6 to 7, and then, you know, the turret advantage in favor of Ion here. But I think there's a lot that can change. I mean, we're still... Froggy has not even gotten any upgrades on NATO yet, and there's just a whole lot of upgrades we have yet to see, and that's going to determine pretty much the outcome of the game, I think. Because obviously we have even skilled players here.
Looks like Coco's going to try and get out with a very little health, but picks up the health up top. Oh, it looks like the Swigs may be in some trouble right now. There's going to be a lot of damage. And Falls is just running and he's saying, no, this is happening whether you like it or not. That hammer hitting. Ooh, I think that was a little
almost,
bit of a latency
that
issue.
was almost max range hammer right there.
That was, but he was out of that. I'm pretty sure that was a little bit of a latency issue, and it looks like this is going to be the first turret down for Team Akio.
Oh,
and
that ball was dangerous. Holy wow.
Swigs getting picked up. An excellent play by Team Akio. This is a team wipe for Akio. They need to take out this bottom turret right now and continue pushing.
Oh man, I don't know if you catch that, but that was the ball knocking Skoldier in range for the throw.
No, I definitely did catch that. The Coco was like, maybe this ball will do some damage, but no, the Skoldier said, oh, that's nice. Guess what I got? You got a ball? I got 2 fists. You're getting thrown behind me.
Yeah, and then the team, they were just there. Look at that turret just disintegrate. Holy
DPS
crap.
is going down. That is 2 turrets in favor of Akio in just 1 minute.
Just like that. Oh, wow. Alright, we're seeing DPS coming out of Froggy. The boombox.
He's definitely getting the boombox now. And with those Froggy changes coming up and from the last few patches, attack speed is increased, but the ticks are halved.
Yeah, so it's gonna be less high damage and more or less damage.
More consistent damage.
Yeah. That's
less
probably
burst,
the best way.
more consistent.
That is probably the best way to put it. You know what? I think that that right now Ion could take that bottom turret.
They could if they decided to push down there and just go for it. But unfortunately, with the Scoop Skoldier just standing together, that's going to be extremely difficult. The ball again hitting the Scoop. Does she have knockback on ball? Because that knockback, no, she does not. And it looks like Falls is going to take a lot of damage right now. And it looks like Zoo is going to have to retreat from there. And Ion, a nice engagement. You know, every team fight that we've seen, except for that last team fight, Ion has completely dominated it.
I want to see the turret go down now. Please.
They've just been able to save each other, you know. They'll get their target down and then switch tank damage. And that's one thing I have to commend Ion about, you know. They're very good in protecting their teammates.
Oh yes, back to the turret jokes. Speaking of, we should totally have them kill that turret. Because that turret is at... We talked about this in the earlier games. If the turret is that low, you can go in and you can actually deal with it.
Exactly. Like, the Coco was majority full health. At this point, exactly. And the Swigs, you just went in and one-packed it.
That's what we need. I think is Swiggin's starting to build AA. I think that might be what he is. He's onto it. He knows what's going on. I was about to suggest AA would really fit Swiggin's right now, and he has already gotten that.
As far as the build on Skoldier goes, you know, we've actually seen Snarequake come out and some HP at this point. I think that it's definitely a good idea to pick up, but these balls are just hitting left and right, so they're definitely going to need the HP to pick up. Ted, you know, he just managed to pick up his first stage of airstrike damage and sniper toothbrush at the same time. So he's going to be able to land those airstrikes, get the stuns off, and hunt them down after.
You know, I actually have a question. What's your opinion, like, damage versus damage over time on Ted?
If on the airstrike itself, if they don't have regen, DOT works wonders. If they do have regen, go for the burst. Get the airstrike damage.
So you think you should get, like, in a non-regen team, that would be better if you just got damage over time?
Well, you can do both, but I would say get DOT before you get airstrike damage. That'll kind of force them back and rethink their decision twice. If you're going for airstrike damage, chances are you're going for the burst anyway. So As long as you can get the DOT on a non-regen team, that constant damage is going to force them to rethink their engagements.
Oh, right, right. So recommendation is DOT before burst if you can, and if regen is not... Oh, what's going on?
Exactly. This is only after you max out what build you're going for, though. And it looks like Fowls is going to hunt them down. Robbie getting hit with a hammer, getting a lot of damage taken on him, and forcing Fowls back. The airstrike just missing the Swiggins.
That was a close call.
That was a very close call for both teams. Robbie was caught out of position for a second, and Skoldia said, hey, I got some snare quick. I still got 2 fists. Guess where you're going, buddy? Right behind me.
You know, we haven't actually seen a lot of Invis play in the later parts of the game here. It's just been burn the Invis so the other team doesn't have it.
Exactly. But at this point, you know what? Everybody's got so much health. Going for that burst, it may not be the wisest thing to do. You may want to wait for your team. Of course, burst is always wise to do because you can get the kills. But at this stage in the game, if you go for the burst and you don't get the kill, with 2 top-tier teams like this, it's going to be very difficult to combat that.
Oh, yes. You're absolutely right. And something I'm seeing on Coco is the speed up. So now moving into the utility part of Coco, that is her sick mobility and combined probably maybe even with slow. That's going to keep them considering where they are, because with that silver coating upgrade that provides for speed up when Blaze is active, it is going to significantly change the boundaries of when people are overextending and not. You know what? That's just. I think we're gonna see someone come in and they're gonna fly because they don't know that Coco has the speed up. I just want to see it.
Well, I'm pretty sure they know she has the speed up at this point because she's used Blaze a few times. But Fowl's missing the throw barely, but landing the snare quake. Coco needs to kind of help him out there for a second, just throwing the ball out there saying, nope, just get back, man. But I definitely see this Blaze coming
there we go.
And a lot of damage coming out, and you can see the Blaze doing work, and we see the Swiggins trying to escape. Zoo sees it, and now Zoo may be in a bad situation if Ion decides to capitalize, but they decide to let him go, and both teams are just going to go back to their sides of the maps and buy some upgrades. You know,
yeah,
taking a look at the kills at 25 minutes in, 10-7. You know, the solar difference isn't that great at this point.
No, it seems like Swiggins is lacking a bit behind, but other than that, it's actually pretty close. We're also we're actually in the late game, and I think that most of the builds are actually concluded. What do you think of the overall builds? What do you think their strength and weaknesses are? Give me the TED.
I'll give you the TED first because I play TED. But yes. I definitely think this is a pretty standard TED build. You max out your AA first, build into that stun for the secured airstrikes, and then you start building into airstrike damage. So there's really nothing monumental that I'm seeing out of TED at this point. You know, taking a look at the Frog, I definitely think that he should have gotten the shield a little bit earlier as opposed to maybe a damage upgrade.
Well, yeah, I guess Coco, I feel, has a pretty standard build as well, but I'm thinking that the particle hands that you usually see on Coco, that we haven't seen those yet, and I actually am a bit sad to not see them at least.
I missed those a little bit because I think that it definitely could have gotten some extra DPS in there, but for the build and Heavenly Fire, you know, it kind of makes up for that in respect to the DOT, or I should say, damage being dealt hands.
Oh yeah. And of course it is a separate attack, so even though you get attack speed on it, it's not gonna stack up. Otherwise it would have been. I'm just not gonna think about that.
Looks like Robbie was in a little bit of a trouble there when he got stunned out of his NATO from Ted. He went in for the NATO and Ted was like, yeah, that's cute. Guess what I got? Stunned. See ya.
You think that's why he doesn't have Arbe?
Potentially. It could be a potential reason for it. And it looks like, nice throw damage coming out. And this is going to be a lot of damage coming out. Fowl's landing the Snare Quake, and he's going to hunt him down, and will go down to the DOT. Swiggins is on the run, and if Akio can push forward and end this right now, they will. And this is going to be a lot of damage coming out on this turret. They're looking for that throw. He's looking for the throw. You can see him going in real close, just missing the throw, and the turret DPS begins.
That is a base, just in case you forgot. Oh,
Base? That's
that
a
is...
slaughtering of a base. You see the amount of DPS they had on that, but they noticed they timed the opponent's respawns and they're gonna retreat.
All right, Shitzy looking to get that pickup on Scoldier, but settles down for some sheep instead.
Oh no, he may be getting it, and he does pick it up.
Moke. And then Mokno comes out of nowhere. Lovely. Oh wow.
Excellent counterattack to that base push, though. I have to say, they're back in mid control. They managed to pick up a kill, and then you can see the Ted now picking up DOT. You know, he's noticed that the Frog doesn't have the regen, the Swiggins doesn't have the regen, and the Coco doesn't have the regen.
Oh, this is the exact situation we were talking about.
Exactly. If it's a non-regen team, you get your damage or get that. You know, it really doesn't matter. I would have personally gotten the DOT a little bit earlier because you also have Scoldier's DOT. So that DOT is going to stack on top of each other, and it's going to be a good amount of damage coming out from both Ted and Scoldier, just in DOT alone.
Oh yes, definitely. I am I'm kind of excited to see if Ion can actually go ahead and make that lovely pushback, because their DOT is increasing ever so slightly with both Coco's shock hands and the Swicken's energized hook, and they're gonna end up raking up quite the DPS. So if they get a double kill, they can easily dismantle a turret or two.
Definitely. They can absolutely get in there. They can get those turrets, even if they get a single kill, you know. Looks like Falls is going for the throw. Managed to get the throw from the middle.
Did he throw himself?
No. I'm pretty sure that was just a small latency issue there.
That looked like he threw himself. And I'm gonna roll with that.
I was a little bit confused for a second. The airstrike again! You can see the airstrike hitting from bottom lane, forcing the Coco back to heal. Buy some upgrades, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe it's finally time to get that regen that... No, actually, Coco cannot get regen.
Cannot get regen at this point.
Due to the piggy into boots.
Exactly. And we see the baby curry mammoth coming out on the Frog. That's still engagement going on here, but I don't know if this Swiggins is going to be able to get out of this alive. But there we go again. Ion just being in the right position to save their teammates after the engage.
Lovely, absolutely.
I have to put my hands and tip my hat to Ion. You know, every single engage they've been in great positioning. They've been able to help each other out, and mostly been able to take the damage for each other.
Yeah, I mean that's you know, that is very, very important when you are getting bursted down and when you're in a team fight. Knowing where your teammates are and knowing that you're supposed to flee towards your teammates is something that is really, really important. It can save your life if instead of running to a turret you run to your teammates, because they will defend you and they will protect you. This may or may not apply in solo queue.
Turrets. This may not apply in solo queue. I see what you did there.
Yeah. You never ever try to apply things in solo queue. That's
whatever you know in solo queue, don't apply to competitive play, and whatever you know in competitive play, try your hardest to apply it into solo queue.
Yeah, except for the part about teammates. We all know how that happens.
Yeah, but you know, in this level of play, most of these teams have been playing with each other for a while, so they know each other's strengths, weaknesses, and exactly what they can do with that. It looks like Scoop is gonna hunt down that Coco, and Coco's just like, nah. I'm blazing it out, bro. It gets out of there.
Oh man, I totally want a Coco Scream matchup so they can blaze it together.
And
oh my god!
Looks like Falls is gonna go down, and Chun is on the escape, but Zoo is hunting down. Oh, Zoo is in a very bad spot right now. If this Frog can get here, and he just barely manages to teleport out.
Oh, and the well-deserved taunt coming out of Ted. Oh wow, we need to see some movement now. We need to move up. Like, Ion, go. You need to take the field. With the Invis Swiggins magic can be done. What do you think's gonna happen? Who's gonna die?
Nobody.
The ceiling, it seems.
The ceiling. He needed to make a hole in the ceiling for the new fan that he's installing on Akio.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, it gets so moist and just humid in there.
It's always so dry in Akio. Looks like Swiggins is going to be teleporting back at this point, and you can just see Akio just staying together and holding down each other at this point. I mean,
this is just footsie notes, really.
It really is. It's that clear. It's the protect your turret and then try and push out and get something out of it. You know, we're going to see the engages come every so often, but little pokes here and there, like from the hammer, from the airstrike. And
I think the next engagement decides who wins.
I don't know. You know, it's still anybody's game at this point because.
Well, yeah, but after
a double kill, double kill, it's whoever gets a double kill wins the game. At this point,
I think that's where
but
we're
if
at.
it's a single kill, you know, I think that it'll be okay. It all depends on the positioning.
It really does.
Yeah, because if Ion gets a kill at this point in the match right here, if they all went in, they could have easily taken that bottom turret.
All right.
Then again, if Akio gets a kill at anywhere in the map, they can just push through that bottom lane and push into the turret section. And just start
that is something that is dangerous. The base is not only exposed, it's actually quite low. So getting in, it's going to be really difficult to hold them back if they first start rolling in, especially when you're one player down.
You know, this is a huge problem that we see in a lot of competitive play, and I think that people need to realize that they need to stop turret stalling. So right now, if you take a look at their base, it's at 4 bars. If Team Akio rushes in, they can take 4 bars. Maybe they lose someone, maybe they don't. But you know what? They can take those 4 bars before they can get killed, if they're at full health. So they fight their way into the base, continue to do damage, and just go for the base. You don't need that last turret. Well, that top turret is there's nothing there.
It's just there. Oh wow, that is a late poop out. That is actually the pool boy on Swiggins is actually very late. It usually is one of the earliest upgrades you get, but apparently we're rolling another way with Swiggins right now. Ooh.
And it looks like Zoo is going to get caught out here, getting hit with a nice ball and the nice dash coming out. That is going to be a pickup on Zoo. Let's see if they can make anything of this. Akio knows they need to push back now. They are playing extremely defensive. They have split themselves up in order to defend both turrets at the same time.
Alright, getting a bit poke there, getting a bit poke there. Ted is going to be dropping now, so 10 seconds and he will be back on the ground, ready to take out whoever is in his way.
You know, we are now approaching the 36-minute mark in about 30 seconds. This has been a decently long match, and you know, both teams have played with such skill at this point, and they made it this far. And we're just seeing the top level of play come out, and it looks like Zoo may be taking some damage, but decides to destroy the anchor, forcing the squid to back up. Coco's going to be buying some upgrades right now, and now decides to get the attack speed on the shock gloves. On the gloves, excuse me. Not shock gloves.
Alright, that's just the gloves. Don't you worry about a thing. Alright, so that's the DPS lifesteal. It's going to be really great for close quarter combat, if you can call it that. Just get up real close, tight, and hug people. And that is going to be, as we talked about in the early games, fighting against Ted with a lifesteal build. That's gonna mean a lot of things.
And a nice engagement going on, and that is gonna be a double kill for Akio. Akio knows they can take this. They're gonna be going straight for the base. Swiggins will
there is
not
no
have
way
enough
we save
time.
this. There is
And
no way.
That is more than likely going to be a GG in favor of Akio.
1, 2, 3. Come on.
And that is going to be the victory for Team Akio.
Whoa, I really thought that she could actually. I was really waiting for that epic last one-man wipe. Oh man,
he tried.
He tried. That was tense.
He had the squid. He was getting ready. He had the invis, but against a tank team like that, it's very difficult to do anything besides hope and pray for the best in a 1v3 situation. But both teams played, like I said before, with such skill. They very powerful. A lot of burst on both teams, and they both played extremely well.
You know what? I think we need a break after this. This was quite the pill to swallow, but I do believe we have some people to talk about first.
We do. We just want to mention a quick shout out and a huge thank you to our sponsors, Alienware, for donating those 6 Alienware alphas to us, and a huge shout out to Ronimo for putting up the prize money. Thank you both very much, and you can take a look at the prize screen right now. First place is going to be $1,800. 3 Alienware alphas, some Steam stuff, and a golden in-game badge. Second place is going to be $900 cash. 3 alphas, some more Steam items, and the silver in-game badge. And third place, maybe you're not getting an alpha, but you get $900 and some Steam items and the bronze in-game Alienware icon. And fourth rate, you're getting $450 cash and some Steam items. That being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the quarterfinals.
Oh yes. No, that is the semifinals.
Another semifinal match.
Learn to count.